On a given history test, 10 students had an average, or arithmetic mean, of 80. The rest of the students had an average of 92. If the average for the whole class was 88, how many students were in the class? We are given in this problem the averages of a group of 1 students, 80, the average of the other group of students, 92, and told the total average is 88. Unfortunately, you have to recognize you can't just add the average of one group to the average of the other group to get the total average. The averages do not add. So average 1 plus average group 2 does not equal average of the total, because the average depends on the number of students as well. And in this case, we're told we have 10 students for group 1, but we don't know how many students. We're just told the rest of the students are in group 2. So we don't even know the number here. So we can't add averages in problems like this. You can, however, add the number of students. So the count, let's call it, the count of students in group 1, which is 10, plus the count of students in group 2, which we unfortunately don't know, it was the rest of, equals the count total. Let's call that count T. In fact, that is what the question is asking for. How many students were there in the entire class, which is our count total? That's what the question wants an answer to. We know count 1 is 10, plus count 2 we don't know, so let's call that our variable, n, the number of students. What is 10 plus n? What we're trying to ultimately solve for. So how would we do that? Well, we know one other fact, and that's the sum of the scores. We'll call that sum 1 for group 1, plus the sum of the scores for group 2 equals the sum of the scores in total. And we're given information to calculate the sums. 10 students from group 1 scored a mean of 80. So we know the sum must be the count times the average, which is 10 times 80. And group 2, we're told they got an average of 92, but we just don't know what the count is. So that's 92 times n, our variable for the number of students. And that equals a total class average of 88, which is going to be a count of 10 plus n, we don't know exactly because we would still have to solve for n, times the average of 88. At this point, we can solve for n and ultimately get our answer, which is the total count. So in this case, that's 800 plus 92n equals 880, and that's multiplying the 88 over to the times the 10, plus then multiply the 88 out to the n, 88n. And in turn, subtracting 88n from both sides, 92n minus 88n equals, subtract 800 from both sides, 880 minus 800, which simplifies to 92n minus 88n is 4n, equals 880 minus 800, which is just 80. So n equals 80 divided by 4, which equals 20. Now, be careful at this point. 20 is not the answer for the students in total in the class. It's not count total. We've just solved for n in this case, which we now know is 20. So our total count is 10 plus 20, or 30. 30 is the correct answer for the total number of students in the class. And again, that all comes down to understanding you can't add the averages together in a problem like this. You can add the counts, the number of students, and you can add the sums of the scores, and you can use the information provided from the averages to solve the answer that you're looking for from the question.